much for taking your time to attend this launching. We will not bore you so much because we believe that maybe you are doing other things. We will just be brief to give you a chance to go and do other things. Lastly, my vote of thanks goes to YWCA and the organizing body for putting their commitment to ensure that this launching came into the successful as it has been officially launched today. Thank you so much for the effort and thank you so much for coming here. May God bless you.
Our women are coming up and I always tell them, you know, you demand, don't ask, don't request, demand. You know, 35% will not just be given to you. And I'm even thinking that you should be demanding for 75%. In the UK today, we have a woman prime minister, and who is the 4 top, you know, leadership are women. Okay, we are not trying to say that women will be men and men will be women. That is not the issue. But we are trying to say, let's play our role, okay, at our capacity, right? And I'm very happy that this is being demonstrated. I am very happy that this project has come to South Sudan. I'm very happy. This young man, when he started his work, I keep telling him that you are not alone and God is with you. Keep fighting and do what you think is right for the people of South Sudan, what is right for young people, and it is not too late. So with this, I have taken too long, but I want to say, let each one of us do his part in this country. Let us stop complaining. Let us stop, you know, blaming. Let us stop, because I know each one of us have the energy to make a change. It doesn't matter where you stand, it doesn't matter where you come, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what God you worship, but I'm telling you that you have the potential. Whether you are a young lady, you are an expert, you are from the government level, you are from the civil society, I know you are there to deliver, and time is now. The country has just decided on an extension of the revitalized peace agreement, and we have the roadmap. How do we realize that roadmap is working together and make sure parties to the agreement are held accountable? It should not be business as usual. The government, the parties to the agreement must implement the roadmap, and they cannot do it without you. They need you, and we need them. Okay, so I want to encourage this step towards empowering our women to achieve peace in this country as they step forward and as the movement to start achieving sustainable peace in this country. God bless you.
To go through helps you to move on. Every home, those of you who are married here, it is start in a way and then it is shaped and then it goes on. Peace is not achieved by force. Peace can only be realized by understanding. To get the dignity that we want as South Sudanese, you cannot get a dignity for your country by force. Dignity is attained by doing dignified things. These days, South Sudan is coming up. We have one building block that is giving us the dignity. The basketball team is giving us the dignity that there is a country called South Sudan. So dignity is not achieved by force. Even if you are powerful, you have the money, you have the cars, you have everything, and you walk the way you walk to be identified, you will not get that dignity. It can only be attained by doing dignified things. And peace, even if you have all the guns, you will not achieve peace. Peace is realized by understanding. You can fight and fight and fight and fight. If you don't sit down to discuss and you think the barrel of the gun will give peace, it will only postpone the war. It will not bring peace. peace is realized by doing little consistent activities like what YWCA and EYP is doing in South Sudan. So at this juncture, I want to congratulate YWCA. Every country is built by its own children. Every home is built by its own children, not a neighbor. The child knows that he or she belongs there and would want a good name for their home. So they will do those activities that build a home. One thing in South Sudan is sometimes psychologically we are bound with bad feelings to feel that our country is the worst. Well, we are not the worst, ladies and gentlemen. Our women, you are very lucky. You have what they call political will and you have the ground. You can, one good thing these days is Mr. Google. Mr. Google can tell you the truth. The participation of women in governance in South Sudan is better than many of our neighboring countries. You will prove me wrong. A country like ours, 11 years down the road, as we speak, the participation, the ground is there for women. In our parliament, that 35% is realized. Also in cabinet, how many countries in Africa, as a female speaker, as a minister for defense, a minister for education, a minister for parliamentary affairs, a minister of health, a minister of gender, and a minister of culture, and a minister of education, of environment? How many countries? And a vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, women of South Sudan, you are very lucky. You already have the basis. You have the basis. And you need to appreciate your country. You need to appreciate your government for creating this opportunity for you. Since the framework is already there, you need to work hard to keep on building the capacity of your sisters to be able to occupy these positions from an informed standpoint. Personally, I would not want a woman just for the sake of being a woman to represent me in my constituency or to represent my government. I want a woman who is intellectually aware, who can articulate stuff, who can speak, and who can promote the interests of our country. So what YWCA need to do is to help other young women to come up, to continue to do what you are doing. As I say, peace is achieved by doing these little things. And by the way, as I keep saying, there is nobody who has peace in a basket. Because there is this illusion in South Sudan that we want to peace. We want to peace. We want to peace from who? Who has a sack of peace? Peace can be achieved by you doing those little, practicing what you want. Peace is very elusive. You only feel peace when it is not around. The presence of peace, you don't feel it. But when it is not around, that's when you feel that something is missing. It's a concept. And so what you need to do, all of us, South Sudanese especially, is to practice peace building, social cohesion, to avoid anything that is violent, starting with our children, to teach them to coexist, to go to work on interest and not identity. Your interest would be like somebody from another community, not necessarily in your community, in your family. But if you work on interest, that expert in IT, in food production, in media, is not, unfortunately, in your community. Where are you going to get this knowledge? Because these days, it's about science, it's about technology, and it's about innovations. And this is what young women and men need to embrace. These skills is not in your community only, and maybe somebody else have it. So I want to encourage our women to continue to be peace builders in your families. Speak to your children about it. What you tell your children, actually a child is a mirror of a family. If I see your child on the street insulting or behaving in a way or dressing in a manner, I'm like, whose child is this? Where does he, she or he come from? That child, if I know the parent, I will know where the child comes from. Maybe there are some challenges, unfortunately. Because a child must be the mirror of the home where they come from. You cannot avoid it. A child is born with a fountain of knowledge. Child is not tabula rasa, so they are not empty slate. They are a fountain of knowledge that education puts a matchbox on for it to start to germinate and produce. So what you teach your children about coexistence is what they will portray. But time has come for the youth of South Sudan to say no to their parents when it comes to those type of issues. To challenge those thinking of ethnicity and say, my dad, if that was your problem there, was it over a cow? I don't know over what. I don't think it is my war to fight. My war now is to look for technology, for innovation, for science, on how to advance my own family and my children. What I want is not necessarily with you. So these are things that we need to do. I also want to appreciate Empower Youth Africa. In June, I was in Awil, and we witnessed that football between girls in Awil Center. We also went and saw how they're working with women. So the activities that you are doing in Awil is important. Engaging the youth, engaging the women. There is a center where women can produce beads and do other activities. It is a peace center. Do not be bogged down to feel that you are small. Actually, if I had all the money, I would give all the money to national organizations. What you need from our international organization is guidance and technical support. You can go extra mile because you are doing it for somebody. I mean, you are not doing it for somebody, you are doing it for your community, you are doing it for yourself. So you have to go extra mile because you want to clean the face of your country. You must do it either with money or without money because nobody will do it for you. Sometimes we think government cannot be everywhere, every time and do everything. Government cannot be in your home. Police cannot be in every home. Even in those advanced countries that got their independence hundreds of years ago. If conflict was something that disappears, I think by now, only the traffic lights would be directed. But you can see that 2 days ago in Saskatchewan, somebody went and knifed people. 3 days ago in America, there was a lot of shooting. People died. These are happening everywhere. So we want to engage our young people to take responsibility of their destiny. Now, I want you to work with me on this idea, building young women, training our women to take charge of the 35% that's already enshrined in our document. At the state level, when women are agitating for 35% of what? We need basic education. If there are 17 ministries at the state level, women want 35%. How many are those? Women need to understand, to articulate from an informed point, so that you are not just saying 35. Maybe they will give you 2 out of 17, and or they give you more, and you are still agitating for 35%. So more basic education is needed. We also need to promote truth, healing, and reconciliation. You know, women can do healing better and the reconciliation. When one family goes to another and say, you know, I think we are living in this village, let us live together. Our children are playing together. There is no reason for us. When women reconcile, I tell you, men will reconcile. So the women of South Sudan should be that factor. Women are so powerful, by the way.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't know how powerful you are. If you tell your man to stop something, many men will stop. Because God gave women this negotiation skill.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, sometimes you have to bow down if you need peace. So women should use this art to challenge men on coexistence, which is important. Ladies and gentlemen, we must understand our past and embrace our future. Sometimes we just assume that we should be Rwanda now, we should be Uganda, we should be Nairobi. We must understand our past and embrace our future. Understanding where are we coming from. South Sudan, did we have even any platform before to talk about these issues of women? We have been living as enclaves of ethnicity in our own enclaves. The previous government did not give us the opportunity to melt down those enclaves, and there was nothing uniting the people of South. What united us was the Liberation War, and now we have our country. 11 years down the line. So we must know that we are coming from a very difficult past. But what is important is we must embrace our future, that we can change and we can give the face of our country that we need. This can be done by these small engagements that we are gathered here to do today. We must also embrace productive activities for peace. Let us not only wait for money. In fact, two homes can go, if you are different ethnic group, you can go to another home. Just go there to sit and talk about your country, how you can live together. Talk about forgiveness among yourselves is important. We must also understand our duties and the responsibilities for our country. What is my duty as a South Sudanese? What can I do for my country, for my community where I live? Not to them, not to government, but me, you. What are you doing for your country? If a tree falls on the road, whom do you wait to come and remove? Some government should come and cut the tree for you to pass. Anyway, what is your duty and what's your responsibility? We need, I'm happy there are a good number of youth here today. We need to stop hate speech against our country. When you talk bad about South Sudan and you go out there, you feel like for you are not part of it because it is there. But as long as you have the Guinean and the passport of South Sudan, whether you try to disclose yourself from it, you are in it. And the people you have talked to against your country, they will not, you are from the same home. You are not excluding yourself. Let us love our country. It's the only one we have. There are some people in this world who are stateless communities, no country. They move from place to place. It is only the day we lose this country, that's when we will start to cry. We become stateless, no state. You go to Uganda, they say, who are you? You go to Kenya, they say, where are you from? You come to South Sudan, which you have sold. I don't know to who, because you don't like it. They say, who are you? Where are you going? We must love our country. This is the only one we have. Even if you go to America and you're given green card or yellow card, I don't know, blue card, or you go to Europe. I've been in those places. Still, you don't feel home. One time I was in Europe and I was in a train. I sat there I was seen as a black skin. Nobody wanted to sit next to me. At last, when the whole carriage was full, somebody came and sat near me, reading the book like they don't want to look me in the eye. I'm like, but what am I doing? I'm happy I came just for studies. So when even you are there, what work are you going to do? Driver, taxi driver? Washing? Plumbing? What work are you going to do there? How much are you going to make? And where will the money be? In taxes? Cost of living? Selling in the supermarket? 10 sterling pound per hour? And the accommodation? I tried it. There is nothing good there for me. If I'm to die, I want to die here. If I'm to prosper, I want to prosper here. Because this is the land of plenty. The Republic of South Sudan. Very lovely country. We are not small. We are the size of Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, put together. Still more, 3,000 miles square. We are looking for a country which is 3,000 miles square to add it to Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi to become South Sudan. And mind you, if something is happening in Rwanda, is it happening in Kenya? Because the other thing is, oh, there is conflict. Yes, something can happen in Rwanda. It's not happening in Kakamega in Kenya. Our country is big. All the resources, gas, petroleum, arable land, where no human being has stepped since Adam and Eve. It is here in South Sudan. Fresh water. The only country where fish die of old age, fresh fish, is here in South Sudan. Diamond, talk about it. Everything that you need to make the phone. Gas. By the way, I'm told the whole of Upper Nile, there are trillions of tons of gas. What Russia is trying to say, we are not giving you now in Europe. We have plenty here. We are so rich. So you know rich, the word rich? The word rich. Timber. Everything. In fact, we don't need fertilizer in this country. We have everything. We are not poor. It is our head that is poor. South Sudanese, we are not poor. Our head is poor. That's why we are depending on food from other people. If our head becomes clever, we are all rich. We are just like that poor-headed farmer. We lost our homes. We are poor today because of that one bullet that was shot. I wish I could see that man who shot it. He has brought our lives down. Our currency was strong. A dollar was just 200 pounds. Now a dollar is 650. And our cleaners who used to pay their children to Uganda, because our economy was so strong that the least person was getting about $75, is gone. My point here is, when you start violence, you will not be excluded. If you are starting violence against other people, you are not excluded, unfortunately. The ripple effect of violence. The right thing is never encourage violence. Even if you're in your home, you think that Tana's dead. It is for those people there. Your uncle, your brother, your sister, your economy, your life, your children is done. The best way, my dear South Sudanese, is embracing peace, forgiveness, social cohesion. Saying sorry. It has happened. Now that we are here, let us live together. This is the only way that can enable South Sudanese to enjoy the fruits of this country. Otherwise, we will remain like those insects that hang on the mango tree, but they cannot eat it. You touch it and they won't fight you. We must reconcile. We must choose to reconcile. We must say, All has happened. But let us say enough is enough. Let us begin a new thing, a new chapter. We must master our destiny. The understanding that people must master their own fate is critical to achieving positive change. The Africa Union Agenda 2063 says, the Africa we want. You must master your destiny. Where are you going? What can you do? It's like building a house. You want to build a house, how do you do the foundation? You must think that you are going on a journey and you want to reach there. Ladies and gentlemen, as I want to conclude, I want to encourage you to embrace reconciliation with ourselves and with one another. We must reconcile. There is no any other better way. And I know the process of reconciliation in South Sudan will be a tough one. There will be a lot of questions that will be asked. How do you forgive the people who killed your family without disrespecting the dead? How do you forgive this man you knew killed the whole family without disrespecting those who have died? Because what is in our heart is we must pay back, we must revenge. But what we have learned is revenge is not good. If you continue to revenge, an eye for an eye, at the end of the day, there will be nobody with an eye. All eyes will go. So the eye for an eye rule. But we must forgive. It's going to be a tough thing, but I want to encourage YWCA and Empower Youth Africa to start, if they have not, or to build more. This project, let it focus on that, because that's the only way forward. How do you forgive the father of your child born out of rape? This child you did not want to have. You did not like the man. But now you have a child. How are you going to give this ugly man? Because you must love somebody to have a child with, isn't it? But this man who forced you is not your type. You don't like him, but you have a child. And we are saying, can you forgive him for the sake of South Sudan? How do you forgive the men who gang raped you and gave you HIV and AIDS? They are still around. And HIV AIDS is a bad disease. But because of war, whatever happened, you were raped, and now you are living positive with HIV. How are you going to forgive this man? How do you help the orphans to understand what happened to their parents and teach them to forgive? Their parents were killed by somebody, probably and those people are still around. How these orphans who are suffering now, their father is gone or their mom is gone. How are you going to help them to forgive those who killed their parents? How do you reconcile with your different ethnic group neighbor who is so much in pain for what a member of your ethnic group did to them? It was not you. But fortunately or unfortunately, you belong to that ethnic group. But that ethnic group where you come from, not you who did it, they did something to another ethnic group or to your neighbor. And that neighbor, when you see them in the morning, what comes to mind? It rings in your mind what your community did to them. These are very difficult and very tough things. But I want to bring this to your attention and say, the only better way is we must forgive. We must reconcile. For the sake of South Sudan, for the sake of our country, for the sake of our children. We must stop the spirit of revenge. Revenge is not good. The youth must stop to fight a war that's not theirs. A war, what happened many years ago, then we are fighting because we had. That must stop. With this, I want to thank you very much for inviting the Minister of Peace Building. We are there to work with you wherever you think we can be of support. CARE, thank you very much. Actually, CARE was my first employer many years ago, but that used to be called CARE Somalia South Sudan. That was in Nairobi some time back. And they were able to go to Georgia to their headquarters sometime. So thank you for the work you do. We really want to see you empowering our national organizations. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the technical support. We encourage you to do this to many of our national organizations. Let them do the job. Let them be in the front line. But this is the best thing for a country. We want our country to be like any country that has the dignity, the manpower, and that has the vision of moving forward. I want to stop here, and I want to thank you very much.